Okay, so here's an update. Um, the fish are doing really well, so that's great. I know it's been a while since I posted an update, maybe 2 weeks, maybe a month. I'm not pretty sure. Maybe it's been a while though. Anyways, all the fish have names except for the OB peacock. I haven't named him. I'm a weird guy like that. I like naming my fish. I guess. You know, I don't know if you call it weird, but they are. Most of them got names. Um, the pacu with the orange on his belly, his name is Rudy. He's a boy. That's how you know by the orange. They don't lose that color. And the girl is just no orange underneath, and that's how you can tell it's a female pacu. And she has a heart on her side, like a birthmark. A birth. You can see like a heart shape on her, which is really cool. You know, and and then my suckerfish, he's looking really healthy. I'm pretty sure you could see him in the video, and he is looking really sharp. Uh, there's no complaint. He's actually looking better than I've ever seen him look. Since I got him, when I got him, he was torn up, but he's looking good now. Um, and his name is Leonidas, and the OB Peacock don't have a name yet. He's got to get a little bigger. I got to see some personality. I got to see some color for me to be like, come up with a good name for him. It just reminds me of my fish. I just like having names for fish. It just makes it more unique to the hobby. When you name your fish, I don't want to have so many that I can't keep track of names, like a class full of students. I mean, come on, I'm not no teacher or nothing, but some people will go as far as naming 20 fish, but that's not me. But these are the fish I plan on staying with, so they're gonna be their names. I cleaned up the back of the glass as much as I could. I broke a mop in half, and then I reversed the mop head, and then wrapped a rag around it and tied it, and I was able to I sprayed some Windex on it, and I went back there on the mop head. I sprayed the Windex on the mop head. I went back there, and I was able to get most of that crud that was back there that made it look really ugly, and it's looking really sharp, that black background. So that's an achievement that I've done with the fish tank, because I couldn't get back there for nothing, and it looked horrible to me. I hated seeing spots. It looked like water spots all over the back, and so that's pretty much taken care of. It's not as bad as it used to be, and I'm liking how it looks. I put all the saltwater type decorations back in to the aquarium because I thought it looked more unique, having decorations in it than just having one decoration in it, especially with that black background. So I like the way it looks, and shout outs to NC Mike and his pottery. That's some awesome stuff. I just wanted to do a shout out for his pottery because I was hoping if he's watching this video, if he'd make a Nephilim sized skull, a huge skull, just a massive skull for my aquarium. And I'm gonna redo the saltwater if I can get him to do a skull and glaze it, but he does sell his pottery. I don't know if he does custom work, but that if he does, maybe more people should get in contact with him, because that's a skill right there. And yeah, NC Mike 1969. I think that's something like that. I'm sorry if I might have messed it up, but shout out to him. And yeah, the power heads are looking real nice. They're shooting out the water. I like the bubbles. There's no complaints there. You know, I like the way that I like the way the bubbles look. You know, it just looks great. But yeah, I've been feeding them potatoes and celery, and I got some kale from our apartment garden. There's a garden for people to grow food, and I got some kale and some eggplant, and I fed that to the fish, and they were loving it. So that was awesome. You know, they love those fresh vegetables, and I think that can contribute to the Placosomus' health, is that he's getting, you know, the poo from the fish, and he's able to turn it into nutrition for himself. So that's the suckerfish is getting really healthy poo. It's not that stuff that, you know, that tetramin or any of that other stuff. It's not as healthy as fresh vegetables. You know, if your fish are big enough to eat fresh vegetables, that is the best thing for them. I even heard of people feeding cucumber to their or zucchini or whatever to their suckerfish, and they start to look really well. They look, you know, really sharp. You know, so I've always fed my pacus fresh since I've gotten them. You know, they may have looked more healthy. They could have turned out more healthier if I grew them up from small pacus to bigger pacus, but they kind of just they just got some, I think, some growth problems that happened to them. Like on Rudy, he has a line through his body because they probably use carbon in their fish tank, so that contributes to those lines that you see across fish's bodies. And I don't know if it'll ever go away, but he's got a slight one. Rebecca kind of has one. I don't know. I don't think she has any on her. No, I don't think she has a line, but Rudy does. He has that line, and it's contributed to that carbon in your fish tank. I don't really think you need carbon for drinking water too. You know, if you're drinking those filtered water, if it does that to fish, imagine what that can do to your skin. You know, so I mean, that's something to think about. You know, so I don't use carbon filters. I get it right out of the tap. You know, and if it has fine particles in there, that waste particles, oh well. You know, I mean, there's nothing's gonna be perfect. You know what I mean? So that's the way I look at it. And my fish are perfectly happy and fine. You can see them moving around. There's nothing wrong with them. I don't test the water, like most people do. I just have a set way of doing it. You know, I do a 25% water change on the first of the month, and I do a 50% water change in the middle of the month on the 15th. And I also do a water change on the 23rd. So 3 total water changes throughout the whole month, and it seems to be the best for the fish, you know. And it's, you know, you don't overdo the water changes and you don't underdo the water changes. It actually saves you a whole water change by my method of doing it that way, because some people do it every Wednesday, and so if you're saving the whole water change, you're saving, you know, water that's in your reservoirs, you know. So something to think about, you know, instead of doing it every Wednesday or not doing it at all, maybe just do it 3 times a month. You know, I like that, and it's easy to remember. It's the first of the month. I gotta do my water change. It's the 15th. The only one that's probably hard to remember for anybody is the 23rd, because that's the quarter of the month. That's the third quarter of the month. So, you know, something to think about. All right, comment, rate, subscribe. I'm out.